Hey everybody, do some maintenance on the Dodge today. Well, in a couple more weeks we're going to be leaving for the first camping outing of the season, pulling the big fifth wheel with the 1-ton Duali, and we got to do some maintenance to the transmission because it could use a fluid and filter change. And while I'm in there, I decided I'm going to adjust the front and rear bands. This particular transmission apparently has bands in it that can be adjusted. And I've got the Dodge service manual, big thick giant book, but I can't find it. I haven't used it in quite a while, so rather than waste half the day looking for that book, I had this site bookmarked. This is dieselgiant.com. He's got a section on here, Dodge maintenance tips. Dodge Diesel. This is for the diesels now, the 5.9 liters particularly. Anyway, so he goes into an explanation about how you go about adjusting the bands, and he gives the torque specification. So down here at 1997, apparently he sourced this from some other guy here. And there's the front band and the rear band specs, but turns out there's two transmissions that were used in 97, the 46RE and the 47RE. So the first thing I got to do is figure out which one we got. Alright, so I pop my hood and I look up here at my data plate. And this has all kinds of equipment information on here, which is really great. And it tells me that the 4-speed automatic transmission, it says CHR after it, and then over here on the code it says, pretty sure that's a D as in Delta, G as in Golf, P as in Papa, a DGP. It also gives me the torque converter, a DHA. Unfortunately though, that doesn't match those numbers that were given on that site, the 46 and the 47RE. So I've got to find some other way to figure this out. Okay, so I googled 46RE VS dot 47RE, and sure enough, I found some hits here. Here's on the Dodge Talk forum. Here's a guy who's trying to currently identify which transmission I have. He's driving a 97 1500. Called AutoZone. AutoZone told him that it's a 46. No, AutoZone guy said he's got a 47RE because he's got 14 bolts in the pan. Apparently, there's a way to tell by the number of bolts in the pan. But he's questioning that, and somebody's telling him that he's got a 46RE, but he admits that he doesn't know the bolts, how many bolts are in each pan. And then they talk about why he's doing it, blah, blah, blah. And then here's the best bit of information right here. Contact Dodge HQ, give them your VIN number. They could tell you what you want to know about your transmission. The dealer wasn't able to help them. And he even gives an 800 number for Dodge, so I'm going to call Dodge. Oh, a little further down, same thread. It's a 46RE. AutoZone workers are not the brightest. The 47 and the 46 share the same bolt pattern. So, according to that guy, you're not going to be able to do it by bolt pattern anyways. And then talking about the codes he had. And here's another thread, and again, it seems like the general distinction is it looks like the 46REs were used in like the lighter V8 trucks, and that the 47REs appear to be more predominant in the V10s and the diesels. But let's just call it Dodge. Well, that's about 10 minutes of my life I wish I had back. The lady that I spoke with there, she was very friendly, but unfortunately all she had was what she could pull up on the screen in front of her, which was that the transmission type is a DHGS, which corresponds with the DHG that I saw underneath the hood, which still doesn't tell me whether we're looking at a 46RE or a 47RE. So she actually recommended I call the dealer. So let's see what the dealer says. Okay. As I suspected, based on what the way things seem to be going, the 47RE is what I've got in my truck, and that's from the dealer. She did that by looking up the VIN number. I don't know why the Dodge people couldn't do it, but anyways, so we'll go with that. You know, looking at the specs right here, it's the torque specs are actually the same, but it's the amount that you have to back off after you've tightened to the spec. So in other words, you're going to tighten it to 72 inch-pounds, and then you're going to back off 1 7/8 turn. And on the 46, you back off 2 7/8, and that is critical. If you just tighten it to the torque setting and then don't back off, you run the risk of damaging the transmission. Alright, first we're going to warm it up some, and then when I come back in I'm going to drive over that piece of plywood so I don't have to lay in the dirt. Alright, so the first thing I did was I got underneath here and I counted how many bolts there are for the pan. It's 14, and now I'm going to compare that to the gasket that comes in the new comes with the new filter and make sure that it matches up. That will be a good indication that I've got the correct filter, because the guy at Napa said that there was several transmissions or choices. Alright, so this is the Napa kit that I got. This particular one that he gave me is a 1-7957 filter kit, TF 6 and 8 large. Alright, so there's the filter. And it looks like it doesn't come with any O-rings or anything. Oop. And it comes with 2 gaskets, so they must use this this kit for more than one transmission. Well, both gaskets have 14 bolt holes, so the difference is the shape of the pan. You can see that's got a different shape. Alright, so I've got my air ratchet ready to go, and then what I've got is I got one of these plastic trays that these roughneck Rubbermaid trays. I use it for a parts thing in my back of my pickup truck. And idea was I'm just double wrapping this with plastic, and what that's going to do for me is that hopefully the mess will be contained in there, and then when I want to go clean it up afterwards, I can just pull the plastic out and discard the plastic and not have to worry about the tray being all dirty with oil. Okay, I went around the perimeter and loosened the bolts systematically, and then it started to leak. So I got my pan underneath here, and it's now raining dirty, burnt transmission fluid into my bucket here. So far so good. Except for, I don't know if you can see on the back here, but some of the rearmost pan bolts have some rust on them, and one of them is so badly rusted the head is damaged, so the socket is slipping. So I gotta go see if I get another socket that'll grab onto that. If not, then I'm gonna have to probably try and grab it with some vice grips. The good news is, even the rusty ones, they all come out so easily. I haven't even bothered using my air ratchet. Alright, I was able to use a say, I don't know, using 13-point sockets or whatever, and I changed to a different socket. Actually, I changed to a SAE socket. These are metric bolts, or vice versa, I forget which. But anyways, I got the rusted bolt loose, and when I go to put the pan back on, I'll replace it. Alright, I just donned some nitrile gloves because things are about to get real messy. This is where now I'm going to change over to the air ratchet to increase speed. So what I want to do is I want to drop out most of the bolts. The idea is to get it so the pan is tilting. I can see all the fluid dripping out of this corner here. Oh, almost. I was going for the rag to get the fluid off of my tools here, and brought it across my face, and it literally dripped right after it passed my face, so I almost got some on me. I'm not that much of a prima donna, but I certainly don't want it in my eyes, and furthermore, I don't want that fluid might still be hot. This is where things get interesting. I just got the second to the last bolt out, and the pan has pretty much let go completely, and the only thing that's keeping it from dropping is my arm, my hand holding it up here, and this one last bolt. So I'm gonna try and tilt it down and see how much. There we go. much more weight we can get out of it. I'm being careful not to let it just hang down too much because I don't want to be twisting the flange on the edge of the pan here and distorting it. Hey, that's what gaskets are for, right? Let this drip for a bit. And that should be enough fluid out of there now so that I think I can manage the the rest of it. Boy, I wish this had a drain pan plug in it. Of course, a nice aftermarket pan would be awesome. You know, one of those really fancy ones. The cooling fins in it and everything. Alright, let's see. Alright, I got the pan off. Now, just tilt it and dump. And I don't quite have enough room to turn this all the way over here, so I don't want to dump the pan into the bucket because then that'll be an even bigger mess. There we go. There's just enough room to turn this over in here. Ooh. You know, it's not as burnt as I thought it would be. I mean, it smells cooked, but it's still got more red than brown color to it, which I think is a good sign. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this pan out of here. Get the pan out of here. Grab my rag. So I am going to let that drip dry, and while that's drip drying, I'm going to clean out the pan. Get the old gasket off the pan.